You should look at.
Hey, what is going on, everyone out there on social media? It's Summer and
Juan Jeronimo.
And today, my friends, we are talking about the top 3 mistakes people make when it comes to goal setting. And I don't know about you, but I'm ready to have some fun.
We're gonna have some fun. So let's see who's gonna be connecting and who's gonna be connecting here. So we'll just we'll get it started here. Sorry, we're new here. We're using this.
We're new to iPhone. It is our confession, so we're just jumping on with it.
So
hey, Anna, how are you?
Edwin, Trejo, how are you? How you guys doing? And we're excited. We're pumped. A lot of great things happening. What's today? Let me see. The 11th, okay? The 11th. So a lot of great things happening. Hope you guys are having a wonderful year so far. It's 2018. So how you doing? How you doing?
Hey, Miss Mabel. Great to see you. Guys, we are going to talk about, this is the time of year where people, they jump in, they have New Year's resolutions, they have big goals, they have big dreams, and then sometimes within like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, people start stumbling a little bit. They start not having the results they were looking for. And so we're really going to get into a couple of the faux pas, a couple of the mistakes that are really, really common. I mean, we've made them before and we've learned from it, and so we want to share with you.
But before we do that, actually, let's get some shout outs. I see some people here. What did I do? Okay, I was just trying to see.
We're trying to see you guys.
Lucia, Polonio, Edwin, Mark Jones, how you guys doing? So,
where are you coming in from?
Yeah. If you guys can just type where you're connecting from, just so we can send some shouts out. Also, if you share, we're gonna shout out if you feel like you're gonna get some value from this. These top three mistakes that people make when setting their goals. If you know somebody, because if you guys are building a business, you probably have somebody in your team that maybe hasn't set their goals, or they don't know how to set goals, and they don't even know what those things are that could mess them up, in setting goals, if they have set some goals. So we're going to be sharing that with you guys today. So definitely.
So where are you guys coming in from? I know Spokane's in the house. I think we got El Paso. Where are you all coming in from? Let us know. Today we are in Houston, Texas at the moment.
So you probably want to check how, we probably can't see that.
I don't know. Guys, I'm sorry.
Don't hit the finish.
Okay, I won't.
So, all right, well.
Maybe you're there. Maybe you're putting it. We can't see it.
We're, okay, there. Let me see. Oh, there we go. All right, okay. Awesome.
Okay.
All right, Lucia.
California.
Awesome, California.
Cool. Awesome.
Let's see. Hello, El Paso, Texas.
Hey.
Excellent.
Woo-hoo.
Caesar, Edwin. Hey, Edwin, how are you? Edwin, where are you coming from, Edwin? Just Oklahoma. Okay, Mabel. Mark, all right. How you guys doing? Mark, how you doing?
Mark. Big hugs to you. You're so sweet.
How's Florida? I think you're in Florida. I think you guys are having better weather than we are. Today it was storming. It was crazy. So, hello. Dallas in the house. Excellent. Mark Jones. Hey, guys. Hey. Spokane, Washington.
Awesome. Cool. Well, you ready to rock this out?
Let's get started.
So this is something that kind of was really on my heart to talk about, because it's the beginning of the year and it's a time where, if people don't set goals all year long, they set goals now. Kind of like, if people don't go to church all year long, they go on Christmas. This is a time when they set goals, or they try and set goals. And over the years, we've been in business for ourselves for a long time. And, thanks, feeling very blessed, very grateful. We've had a lot of success inside of network marketing, and goal setting was one of the key components, one of the main foundational things. And are you going to share this?
I'm going to share this. So
we're going to have a share-a-thon. So feel free to share, get your friends on with us. You can grab your phone. There we go.
Right here. So I'm going to hit the share. So
okay.
Awesome. Share post down. Awesome.
Cool.
Hey, Jazzy, how are you? How you doing, Jasmine?
All the nicknames coming out right now. So watch out.
those friends that we got with, you'll hear us call their nickname from time to time. Tony, how you doing? Awesome. Mari, how are you? California. Awesome. Mary Alvarado from California. Awesome. And today you guys are going to enjoy this, because, we're going to talk about some challenges. We're going to talk about basically some things that have worked in our life, some things that have worked also with as we launched into our network marketing business. And this is something that, goals is something that we're constantly doing. But today we're going to share some mistakes that people do when setting their goals or not setting their goals, and why probably they're not having those results.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, of the things that we thought about, which actually, I mean, we could have come up with 10, 15, 20, a lot of different things. But we really had to kind of think about what were the main core things that hold people back, that kind of get in people's way and become a stumbling block when it comes to goal setting. And one of the first things that came to my mind was something that I saw play out in our life. Years ago, we were building a business, and we had been doing that business for a little while, and we were not where we wanted to be. And so we didn't set goals. After we would try and set a goal and it wouldn't work, and we would try and set a goal and it wouldn't work, and we would try and set a goal and we wouldn't get it. And so the number one mistake people make is they just don't set goals. And sometimes there's a whole psychology behind why we decide not to set a goal. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Most people actually, if you think about it, if you just look at the numbers, most of the people are not, they don't set goals. You've heard this before, but most people will spend more time planning their vacation than they will setting their goals. And some people, right now, I guess the main goal people have is the New Year's resolution. So the goal they set is they want to lose weight. And what do? They join a gym. They go there for a couple of days because they never wrote down what the desire was or how many times they were going to go. All they did was they said, hey, I'm going to lose some weight. And that for some people is setting a goal. Hey, I'm going to lose some weight. And then they join the gym. Mm-hmm. And because they don't have a schedule, they don't know what to do. They just think like, oh, that was my goal. My goal was, losing weight. That was my New Year's resolution. Mm-hmm. And then they go to the gym and then they don't follow through. Yep. But they never even wrote down what they wanted to lose. They never wrote down, the amount of calories they needed to stop consuming, mm-hmm. The exercise they needed to do. They never wrote it down. And they never wrote down what they were going towards. So therefore, anything can stop them. And you've heard this before that, when people set, their New Year's resolution, everybody joins the gym. And, the first couple of days, you can't even park when you go to the gym, they say. But, give it like you give it the 6th, 7th day, then you find plenty of parking.
Plenty of parking. You're good to go.
The people can go. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that, where perhaps if you guys are members of a gym, if you guys have had trouble during the first 7 days, just drop down, hey, having a challenge at the gym or something. But you've seen it now that you can go today and probably you're not going to find anybody there. That's because they never set their goals.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So all the workout buffs, let us know. Have you seen this? It's whether it's going to the gym, whether the gym is packed out. Yes, absolutely. And this is the time where they capitalize on it, right? They're just going to sign up as many people as they can. That's how they work. They work on volume. But no, whether it's going to the gym or whether it's setting a goal in your business, right? It's big. Okay, age reversal. Okay, Lucia's going for age reversal. I like it.
Hey, Angie, how you doing?
Awesome. So when it comes to business, I know just for me personally, like I was sharing, we had been in a business for a while. This is a number of years ago. And our goal was to get to the top level in the company. We wanted to go diamond, right? Anybody ever wanted to go diamond or go ambassador or, whatever your top level is that your goal? Is that what you're going for? If it is, let us know. Put something in the comment section. And so that was our goal at that point in our life. And what I found for myself is that we would aim to try and hit the goal. We wouldn't get it. And after doing this so many times, there was kind of a spirit of defeat or like a mental block when it came to goal setting. And, obviously that was a number of years ago and, we're way past that and, big team and everything like that. But, being able to get past that is important. It is going to be essential with you going to the next level in your business. Just know that your past, whatever happened before, it's the past. So we don't need to live there. We don't need to reminisce on it. We don't need to carry it with us into our future. And your past does not equal your future as long as you do something different. As long as you decide not to stay the same, not to continue to do the things that we did in the past that gave us the lack of results, right? We have to do something different if we want to progress and if we want to get moving. So number one, we must set the goal. And it must be clear and specific, right?
You have to write down, and we've shared this before, but you have to write down the vision, which is write down your goal. What is it that your vision? You have to write it down. And it's interesting because one of the things that we did learn, when we were young, is to always have a journal.
When we were young.
No, we're young,
still young.
And we're still young. But I should say some things we learned when we met.
Yes.
Not that long ago, 17 years ago, okay? Is that we would always, and this is something we always do together, where we write down, because, and if you're watching this, perhaps maybe if you're like, if you don't have a significant other, you have to learn how to write down goals for yourself. Now, if you guys are husband and wife, I think it's so important that you guys talk about your goals. Number one, so you guys are in alignment.
Yeah.
And number two is when you guys talk about them, it's one thing to daydream, we do that all the time. Hey, we're going to go to Europe. Hey, we want to go to Greece, and we want to, there's so many places when we talk about, we get all excited.
Our
sometimes,
bucket list gets longer and longer.
And sometimes, we talk about that at night, then we're like, can't go to sleep because we're excited. But you have to, the goals that, and I heard this actually at GoPro, from Jordan Adler, actually. He said this: those goals that are in your calendar, or those things that you want to do that are in your calendar, you're going to get them done because you wrote them down. It's one thing to wish for something. And I think a lot of times, people get into network marketing, they wish for freedom. They wish for a big team. They're wishing because they're just wishing, because they're just wanting that without writing it down. And I think it's so important that you want to write down for 2018, what are those goals? You have to write it down.
Absolutely. Writing it down and being specific. And then, set a date in the calendar, like the going to Europe thing. I mean, I remember he came to me and it was in the evening. We're getting ready for bed. He's like, where do you want to go this year? I'm like, I don't know. Let me think about it. And then let's plan it out, right? And so, like, if you have something that's been on your bucket list, you have to do that too, right? There's different kinds of goals. There's, personal goals, maybe for your health, or maybe for what you want to do for your own personal development, like maybe learn a language. I know Lucia's learning Italian, and, so there's different kinds of goals. And sometimes there's things that you do for yourself. There's something that maybe has been on your bucket list for a long time, and it's time to finally do that thing, right?
And so we talked about, obviously, right now people are saying, well, right now I just want to be financially free. I can't even think of Europe, or I can't think of a travel. But let's go back a bit. I remember when we were back in Florida. We were in Florida and we had challenges with real estate. For those of you guys don't know, we were in real estate. I was a real estate agent. My wife had a mortgage company, and we wanted to move to a different place, and I wanted to move to Texas, and that was per se a goal. You know what? We talked about it for years, and it wasn't until we wrote down, hey, we're going to move. We wrote it down. We had to look at the cost. Hey, John, how you doing? Hey, John Perez. We had to write down, hey, we're going to Houston. We wrote down the cost. We wrote down what we're going to do, put the stuff on storage. There was so much, and moving to a new place, not knowing anybody. So imagine, living, you're going to have to leave the place you've been for years, had a business, and relocate, go to a new place. That was per se a goal, and it was a pretty big goal because it really changed our life. Coming to Houston, Texas, really changed our life. But it would have not happened had we not wrote it down and said, hey, we're going to do this.
Absolutely.
And most people don't do that, so they're always, someday.
Yep. And maybe that's where you're at right now, is that you're going to leave where you've been for years. Maybe you've been working at a place for years. Maybe you've been doing something for years, that it's time for that new thing. And if you want to see that new thing take place in your life, if you want to go to the next level in your business, you want to be one of the top income earners, you want to be something that, you want to have something or become someone that is a new way of being, then you're going to have to leave that old place and put it on the calendar, take some massive action, and get into it. And so that's our first tip. Tip number 1 right there.
Write it down.
That's right.
And last story, talk about real estate. When we were, this is back when we were like 19, 20. Do you remember how we had written down that we were going to own 10 homes? Mm-hmm. We wrote down we were going to own 10 homes. And this is back when we couldn't even think of owning, 10 pieces of property. And we were young, we were just excited, but
we're so green. Oh my gosh.
We wrote it down.
Yep.
And I think it was in a drawer.
I remember I had one in a workbook.
Yeah. And we saw it, and because we had written down and we put a date on it. I think we had put 3 or 4 years. We put a date on how many. And what's interesting is we don't own 10 homes. We own more than 10 homes.
Yep.
But because we wrote it down, so the power of actually writing it down, and it's interesting because you want to have that go in front of you. But even though we didn't have it in front of us, it actually happened because we wrote it down.
Absolutely.
So that's another time.
Absolutely.
So number two is, and this is for if you're network marketing, if you're in a network marketing company, accountability. This is so big. And what I love about network marketing is that if you're new to network marketing, if you just got started, you have somebody that you can learn from. Yep. You have the person who brought you in, and if they don't know, you can look for somebody that's been in for 6 months, for a year, for 2 years, and really, and you can grab onto them. So when I talk about accountability, is sometimes if you're on your accountability, if you are your own accountability, sometimes that's not a good thing.
It's not enough.
It's not enough.
Because we let ourselves off the hook.
Most people let themselves off the hook. So what you want to do is you really want to have somebody hold you accountable. We talk about, coaches. We talk about mentorship. And you're going to hear this a lot in network marketing, mentorship. And we always talk whenever you do something, if you're going to, and this was, this is something we learned early on. If you're going to quit your job, whatever you're going to do, counsel upline. Remember, how when we were, this was always, hey, counsel upline. You're going to do this, counsel upline, counsel your upline. And it's so important because if you're network marketing and you want to go to a next level, if you're accountable to your upline per se, that person that, that wants you to be successful, that's in there with you, that will help you go do presentations, that will help you, do the calls, the Zoom meetings, whatever it may be. That's the person you want to be accountable to. And so once you write down your goals, share them with I would say your active upline, share them with the upline. Absolutely. Because they'll help you keep yourself accountable.
And they'll help give you a game plan for how you're going to get it done. Because a lot of times people will have a goal in their mind of what they're shooting for, and they'll just be like, I'm going for this, but I really don't know how I'm going to get there. I'm just going to go for it, right? And to have a goal without having an action plan attached to it is kind of like, throwing mud up on the wall. You'll get there some, but it's a lot better if you have somebody that can take you by the hand. And we have that. I mean, we have that in the type of business that we have in the network marketing business structure. So it's just a no-brainer. And so, Juan talks about, being accountable and having accountability other than yourself. I'm big also on self-accountability. And so there's something I learned a long, long time ago from Jim Rohn. And it's PDCA. It stands for plan, do, check, and adjust. And sometimes people, they plan it, okay, they got it. They start doing it, and they never check, and they never adjust. And sometimes, you think you're going to California, and you end up in Arizona or some other place. And it's you have to be checking and adjusting, because that's how you're going to get to your finish line. There's going to be things that change, and, undoubtedly, most of the time, whatever plan you have when you start with is better than no plan. But you're going to learn things along the way so that you actually become better. You're smarter, you're faster, you're wiser, you're more knowledgeable in what it is that you're trying to do. So you're going to be tweaking and adjusting as you go. And so remember to include that part. Be accountable to yourself to where you're checking and you're adjusting, and that way you'll get to the finish line faster.
And let's see, if you guys have somebody that you're accountable, just write down, hey, I have somebody I'm accountable to, or, and just, or I'm going to contact somebody so I can be accountable to, right?
Yeah, let us know.
That's something, hey, you know what? I'm going to contact this week, somebody to be accountable to, or I am accountable to somebody, because too many times I think, and especially today, I think there's so much information. So today, in today's age, there's not a problem with information. There's plenty of information. I think it's so important. You have to have the right information. And I would say the person you want to, you really want to talk to is, the person you're working with, kind of have them be accountable. What's interesting for us, what do you do when, you're a top income earner? who do you accountable to, or what do you do to set goals? Actually, what's interesting is as you start growing, you're gonna find out as you start getting to the top income earner, you're gonna hire coaches.
Yep.
It's interesting because successful people actually, people that are earning $500,000 a year, $1 million a year, and so forth, they'll hire coaches. They'll pay $50,000 a year. They'll pay a certain amount of money to hire a coach. And really, what a coach is, someone that they're going to be accountable to.
Yes.
Really, that's really what a coach is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so let's talk about the last thing. The third mistake that people make is they just don't do daily activity. A lot of times we take these big steps where we're like, I'm going diamond, I'm going ambassador, I'm going rocket ship commander. They're doing something that's big, okay? And they set this goal and it's like going to the moon. Like it's so far out there, it's so far, so big to them at that moment that they take it and maybe they even write it down and then it just like goes in a drawer someplace. And then they hope that maybe they'll arrive at this goal if they wrote it down in the beginning. No, it's daily activity that's gonna get you to your goal. Who talks about this? John Maxwell talks about it's what you do daily that's gonna help you promote. A couple other examples, I'll share with you some of my favorite books. Jeff Olson wrote a program and book. It's called The Slight Edge. It's also on audio. Love this. Talks about what you're doing daily. Darren Hardy, Compound Effect. Also very similar work. And something that if you are the type of person where you're great at setting goals, you're great at, casting the vision, you're like, yeah, I'm ready to roll. But then when it comes time to perform the doing of it, when it comes time to get into getting into action and just like doing it every single day and making it a habit, it's a little bit of a challenge for you, then I have something that will help you. And this is a book that was introduced to us a number of years ago, I don't know, 15, 16,
Well,
17.
that was the first book I ever read myself.
It was the first book you read?
First book I ever read.
Wow. Okay, so we've been through this book. I've been through this book. In this, it actually offers a challenge, and you can see that mine is very well read because it's something that you actually follow up with 3 times a day. And this ends up being like a year-long program. So if daily is something that you're like, man, I need to get better on whatever I'm doing daily, then pick up The Greatest Salesman in the World. It will definitely help you enforce that as a habit in your life.
Definitely. So it's the daily. I think sometimes we don't, we don't break down those goals into the daily activities, and we kind of just focus more. And people are looking at they're wanting that bigger goal, but I think it's so important that you break that down into smaller steps. Most people, if you want to move up in rank, what we found sometimes the challenge is not knowing that, hey, I want to get to 30,000 points, or they may know. Or 60,000 or 150,000, whatever it may be. Sometimes that's not, sometimes they see that, they just don't know how to break it down into how many parties, how many people they got to talk to, how many people need to join that team that month or week, or how many. People don't break it down and then say, okay, so today I have to have 2 parties, or I have to talk to 3 or 4 people. Mm-hmm. They don't really break that down, and therefore they can never get to that, to their end goal, to that big goal that they set for the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, one of my favorite things that you have is it's not perfect action, right? Take massive action, not perfect action, yeah. Right?
And talking about taking action today, I always see these video clips. I think you guys might have seen it today on Facebook, but Will Smith started talking about, failing and doing it and just doing it over and over. And even if you fail, you're going to learn something. Well, if you have a goal, and if you have that plan, do, check, and adjust, just know that at times you may veer off that goal. But if you have it written down, if you break it down and you know that where the areas you need to adjust, then know that if you didn't talk to your 2 people per se that day, then you got to talk to more people next day. Mm-hmm. So you got to look at that activity, look at the actions you got to take, so that you can know what to do, so that you will have the small wins. I think so many times we just look for that big win. We're looking for that, we reached our goal. But you have to reward those small wins every day. Hey, if you did a party and somebody joined, great. If somebody joined your team in your business, you helped them, great. If you guys had a successful Zoom call, great. Whatever it may be, look at those small things, because those will be the things that will add up to have your big goal.
Celebrate the small victories.
Celebrate the small victories.
And, you know, one of the things that I will just say for myself, every single thing that I've ever accomplished in my life, whether it was, you know, losing weight and getting to my ideal health goal, or whether it was a business goal, or, you know, whatever it was, for me personally, I totally attribute it to the daily activity. And if you're the type of person where you're like, okay, well, what'd you do? Then I'm going to tell you what I did. I have something that I put together. It's called the DMO worksheet, Daily Method of Operation. What do you need to do daily? You know, sometimes as an entrepreneur in network marketing, you know, if you've worked for someone before, or this is like new, you know, being the boss, being in charge, and you're not quite sure what should you do every single day to push the needle in your business, then I have something that will help you. It's gonna basically spell it out. It's a worksheet. It's what we've done in the past, and, you know, built the business to over 50,000 distributors, and you can do the same. You start where you start, and you do one thing, several things every single day, and it moves you forward. And so I'm gonna drop a link here once we're finished that you can click on, and it's summerjeronimo.com/daily. Click on that and you enter your email, and it will give you access to the DMO worksheet that can help you with what you do every single day.
Awesome.
So any final words?
No. So guys, 2018 is going to be a great year. If you guys haven't wrote down your goals, I would suggest, you know, get a notebook, and we keep journals. For us, is we keep them in our journals. That way it's in front of us. If you need to write it down on a piece of paper, you know, back when we got started, I remember we wrote down our goals and have it in our mirror. You know, this is when we lived in an apartment. Okay, I remember we put it in the mirror and we could see it every day, because when you're launching something or launching the year, you want to see it every day, so you keep focused. So for us, what helped us is writing it down. We had it in our notebook. Then we wrote it down like what we do here with these. We write down, you can't see what it is, but it's a piece of paper. We write down our goals, print it if you want to, and then tape this on your mirror. Tape it in the mirror of your bathroom, and so you can, you know, as you're shaving, as you're getting ready, as you're brushing your teeth, you can see it. It's in front of you.
Definitely. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, it's been so great spending time with you. If this is something that, you know, helped you out, maybe brought you some insight, or, you know, added some value to you, let us know. Drop a comment. We always love to hear what it is that you're sharing and what you have to say. Also, feel free to share this with your team. We're going to finish this, but you can share the replay with them and get your team on so that they can be better at setting goals. And if they're better at setting goals, you get to your goal faster too, if you know what I mean. So I think that's it, huh?
That's it. All right, guys. Have a blessed day.
All right. Until next time, go out there, live your life to the full, conquer your dreams, and go get everything God has in store for you. Take care and be blessed.